Excuse me, camera. Hello out there. Hope everybody's doing well out there in YouTube land. Hold on, boys. Hold on. Thing's got a mind of its own. Jeez. We're a little late in getting started here. Sorry, but you know, at the last minute, things go south. I don't know what it is. There's gremlins in the room. Anyway, it's a wonderful day today. Started off with a little rain, but here we are. Hello, Rich. Nice man in Men in Black. Look. Thank you. Black, you know, it's slimming. It's got that slimming effect. Here we are. Wes is here. Say hi, Wes.
Hey, everybody.
What? Your camera's black.
Oh, great.
One more gremlin. Good God.
What could that be?
Your camera's not on.
The camera is on. Let me, yeah, gotta plug
it. Whoops, you're on black now.
Oh, no.
Okay, so anyway.
Wait, what? Okay, I'm unsure about this now. Oh. There you go.
Whoop, there.
Wow, yeah. We're off to a really good start today. Awesome.
Louis, cool jazz, great job. Thank you, Louis. Nice to have you with us. Gail Severson is here, and Buzz Roberts. Hey, what's happening, Buzz? like the sound and looks of. Yeah, look at this Guild. It's an X170. Isn't this thing beautiful? God dang it. I mean, get out. It's got that sweet little sound. Jimmy Rolfe is here. Hey, Jim, and how are you? How are you, Jim? Jim, you doing okay? Good. Kirby, what's happening, Kirby? Kirby, we're going to do a lesson today, right, at 5 o'clock? Is that correct? So I'll see you then. Chris. Hi, Chris. The camera is back.
I think I got. Do I have mine working now? Yeah.
Yeah, there you are. There he is. There. Peace out.
Man, tough morning.
We got to get this mixer worked out. I don't know. Sometimes I don't trust the newfangled gear, on the printed circuit boards and the computer-generated stuff. Because if you have a computer, they go south sometimes, man, and they get a mind of their own. They update and all this crap. Okay, so what is new? Well, look at our workshop was totally booked. We have one cancellation, so we do have an opening. So if you feel like coming to workshop, it's not too late. Doing okay. Jim Rolfe is doing okay. Good boy, Jim. So look I got this X170, as you notice. See the thickness on that? We'll do a video on it. When I got it, the pickup didn't work. And front pickup. And so, I had to take it. I tried to fix it. I could not fix it. I had it wired up. I thought, right. It wasn't. I took it to my friend. He said, well, it was a bad pot. So it was two things. So it's when you troubleshoot something, if you got two things working against you, it can be trouble. It can be tricky. So anyway, it's all well and good now. And it's kind of a nice out of phase sound, isn't it? It is out of phase. Which is kind of a cool sound. Anyway, I had my friend also work on that 575. Remember, it had this goober down here. Anyway, the guy that was interested in it, I sent him a picture and he bought it. So he sold that this week, sold the 803, the single pickup. Some guys are buying two guitars. I've had two students buy two guitars. Crazy. So I have that X and the X700. I've been getting a lot of response on that. A lot of people liking that. Oh, but I want to tell you about what's coming. I bought a 1954 Guild Stratford X350. It's the one with 3 pickups, and it's got 6 little buttons down here. It's got a lot of. It's like the space shuttle. It's got a lot of buttons, so I'm excited about that. It's got a real woody, bluesy tone too. I got that, and I bought it X50. You know what the X50 is? The Cordova X50. It's the Guild. It's a little fatter than this, 16-inch, no cutaway. It's got the stove top knobs. It looks like in great shape, and I've had several of these guitars. Actually, that was the first vintage guitar I bought a long, long time ago. Then I bought one that was Ted Green's. And I bought another one that needed a lot of work as far as cosmetic. I had that all fixed up and the binding fixed on it, and then sold that. And anyway, they're great sounding guitars, so I'm looking forward to getting that. Also got a 603 15 coming in, 15-inch 603. Oh, and look at this. Do you see this amp here? This is a Razor's Edge amp. It's called the... did you get the website for that, Wes? The Razor's Edge there. It's the Centurion, I think, hybrid. It's actually got a tube preamp. And it's got two 8-inch speakers. I think it's 100 watts. It's solid state. Very light. Very light. And maybe we'll play that in a little while if anybody's interested. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Kind of pretty. And as you can see, it doesn't have many knobs. Very low knobs. Doesn't have a whole lot of knobs. So yeah, how can it be very good if it doesn't have over 10 or 12 knobs? It's got to have a lot of knobs. Actually, sometimes the less knobs, the better. I remember John Pisano says, man, I don't even want treble and bass. I just want a tone knob. So volume and a tone, which is kind of nice. So we're going to be doing a review of amplifiers one of these days. We're going to do the Micro Pro Cub, Aviator Cub, the Razor Edge, the new Mach 3, and we'll compare it to the old Mach 2. So we're going to be busy. Great tone, very T-boney. My Giants, hopefully you can put me in a better mood. Oh, the Giants, yeah. Boy, if you're waiting for a baseball team to make you feel better, yeah, good luck. Any thoughts on Julian? Yes, I fancy his playing. Anybody who woodsheds the guitar and can play like that, it's okay in my book. Walkin' Bill. Walkin' Bill. I like that. Walkin' Bill. Most of my bills are walking. They walk away from me. Dollar bills. Walk away. All right. Well, anyway. Isn't that a pretty sound? I don't know what the verb is like out there, but we got a little verb in here. I like the feel of this. It's a 17-inch, but it's not real fat, and that just feels really good. The fretboard is like right here. It's right in your face. So that first song was my tune. It's called The Fourth Degree. It was an old version of it. I've modified it a little bit since then. That's the trouble when you write. When you write, you're constantly rewriting, and then when it comes time to play it, it's like, how did it go? Got so many variations. What else is new? I bought a ticket to go see, wait for it. Let's see. What is his song? I don't want to do that one. Tell me that you love me, baby. Let me understand. Tell me that you love me, baby. I want to be your man. I want to be your man. I want to be your man. Ringo. We're gonna go see Ringo. He's coming to the Central Coast with his all-star band. So we just bought tickets yesterday. And that'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun. Gail and her brother Chris and his wife, I was going to say his husband, but no, his wife, are going to be joining us. And Wes, you might come too, right?
Yeah, I'm on standby right now. It's expensive, man.
I know it is.
Gosh, dang. It's like $150 plus. So
wow.
I'm gonna, my plan is to wait till the last minute and see if I can get a last minute ticket on Craigslist. It's worked out for me before, and I've saved a lot of money that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because I don't think that here on the Central Coast isn't a big. They like country music around here, so I don't think it'll sell out.
No, oh yeah, I think it will. So, they like country, but, where we live in Atascadero. And up here is Paso Robles, and it's all vineyards and ranches and all that. So up here is cowboys. Down here is Pismo Beach. So down here is all hippies. So we got cowboys and hippies, and we're right in between. So you're in the hippieville.
I don't know, though, because you got, like Arroyo Grande is very cowboy. Very, very much cowboy town.
Really?
There. Yeah, Santa Maria, super cowboy. It's all farming down there.
It's all, yeah.
So,
Farm work.
San Luis is the part where it's hippies.
Yeah, well, hippies.
But hippies don't have a lot of money. Spend it all on weed.
Well, yeah, that's true in VW buses. So let's see, where are we at? Any questions here? Well, I know what else is. We have a special. We have a special on sale. We're doing the fingerstyle guitar fingerstyle playing and arranging course, which is a big long course that I put together a few years ago. I don't know how many years ago, but it was a lot of work. There's I think it's a 72-page book, and there's 13 or 14 hours of videos. And we're going to do a little lesson on that today from that book. But if you're interested in fingerstyle, you should really get it, and it's on sale. I forget how much it is. I think it's normally like $150, and it's $90 or something like that. So really, as a matter of fact, let me go through the tables of contents here so you can get a look at it. I printed it out so you can see what's in it. Let's just talk about this for about 20 or 30 minutes. So here's the table of contents. You see that? And then here's the other half of it. It's a lot of stuff. So we're talking about minor chord voicings, major chord voicings, chromatic movement over dominant chords. And then we take and start harmonizing a tune, and we use the song The Way You Look Tonight. And then we do diatonic harmony, and then we do Here, There, and Everywhere as far as diatonic harmony, and talk about all that stuff. Triads, jazz voicings. We use the song Eleanor Rigby as a way of using stacked fourths. Counter lines, we use autumn leaves, contrary motion, and there's a lot of things, tritone substitutions, cadences, tonality, playing the bass line, intros and endings. So I think it's pretty extensive. And so I'm pretty proud of it. And if you want something to do for the summer, why don't you get it and get with it? Any questions? Anybody? I can't hear you. All right.
There is a question or two here. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh yeah. What kind of amp are you using? Can you explain that?
I'm
one?
going direct because when I use the amps here, it picks it up in this mic, and it's not a true reading. So and it's hard to get the balance. So I'm just going direct into the mixer. Is that what they meant?
Yeah.
Yes, James Dean died on Highway 46. There's a little monument over there. And you know what? they just recently found, what was it, about 3 or 4 years ago, Gail? They found his goggles in the field over there. Isn't that weird? Okay, so let's do a song from the course. This thing crashed on me. Everything left, and then you got to go reload it all up again, and it's like, you son of a gun, it drives me nuts. All right, so Here, There, and Everywhere. I think one of the most beautiful tunes that Lennon and McCartney wrote, and it's really a song that should be studied. It's got modal interchange, modulating to the flat 3. It's a great tune. It's got diatonic harmony. Let's go ahead and play that song. It's funny, I remember talking to Ron Anthony, who's passed away, jazz guitar player, and he loved that tune. He's talking about that tune. And I hear Paul McCartney talk about it, and he says, yeah, I guess, the music collegist says it does this and does that. But, who knows, I think Paul knows more than he lets on. Okay. Here we go. You ready, Wes?
Yeah, I guess.
That's confidence. Oh, come on.
This track might be really low. I have a feeling.
Play failed. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I hate you.
Yeah, I think we need to throw that thing away.
God, I spent a lot of money for this song again. It's not going to play it. Let me go back to this other. God. I'm sorry, guys. Please bear with me. One of my happiest fantasies is me taking a computer out with a shotgun and just shooting the crap out of it and then beating it with a hammer. I've always wanted to do that. Okay, hold on, Wes. Okay, Here, There, and Everywhere. It starts with an H, doesn't it? Okay, here we go. Playing failed. Can't do that one. Sorry.
All right, well, can you... There you go.
We'll do a fingerstyle version. Something like that. Camera. Tuning. So, tuning, that ancient Chinese folk song, tuning. How do you say calf in Chinese? Young cow. Where are we at, Wes?
There's a question here. Let's see. From Arnold Chan, who asks, what would you practice when you don't have much time or the mind to do it?
I think practicing should be really fun. So, whatever it is that you do that's fun. Now, fun for me is to improvise, and I like to improvise over a song. So, I would just sit down and start improvising. So, like the tune that we played in the beginning, the song modulates, and then it goes B minor for 4 bars, and then E minor for 1 bar, G minor, C sharp minor, F sharp, F augmented or altered. So then I got wait a minute, no, I'm sorry. So that's the progression. So I would just sit down, and I like to go just sit down and go. E minor, G minor, C sharp minor 7, F sharp, F augmented, so I like to do that. I don't like to play with the tracks. Number one, when I get up in the morning to play, it's quiet, and I don't even like the sound of my computer. I don't like to turn on that damn thing. If anything, I would put the metronome on 2 and 4. There's my progression, 2, 3. So anyway, that's what I like to do. I like to get my mind going and improvise. So now you can do anything you want. If you got your hands on the guitar, you're practicing, right? If you want to make really constructive practice, you're only good really for about 15 minutes to try to process new information. So sit down, try to figure some new information, and then you can just have some fun with it and explore it. So let me give you an example of some new information. So Mitch Holder did a book on Howard Roberts, which had a bunch of transcriptions. And I just watched a video of Jay Roberts and another fella from the Roberts Music Institute watching a video on his dad playing Skylark. And they're watching, and I guess they hadn't seen the video. By the way, we got to get Jay in here. We got to get Jay over here to do this. But anyway, so they're, Howard's playing and they're commenting on, wow, that's cool, and oh, I know that lick and stuff. And so one of the licks that Howard played that Jay started, he said, oh yeah, I know that lick. It goes like this. So it's kind of where we're going down chromatically, but hopping up a third on the same string, or it could be a second. And the funny thing is about the lick is that the sound goes down while the fingers go up. So it's kind of a trippy lick. So when I saw that, I thought, oh, that's cool, And of course, there's more parts to that lick. It's something more like, I forget what it is. But I just like this. So then I started, well, that's a neat concept. So obviously, it sounds a diminished sound. Right, something like that. What am I doing? As I said, I haven't had a chance to work on it, but I thought, well, that's really cool. That's a cool little lick. So I would take time to just experiment around with that lick, maybe play it backwards. And it doesn't have to necessarily make sense. You could treat it as a finger exercise, but it's playing something new. And, when you keep playing the same thing over and over and over again, it gets to be a little boring. So, number one, practice should be fun. It should be dexterity building. It should be, if you're doing chords, you want to challenge yourself to, let's say I'm doing these inversions, then I would change keys. So always challenging yourself. Change keys. So that's the next thing. Switch it up. Always make yourself to push yourself to switch things up. And then practice is fun. It's fun. And then you get done playing, you don't even feel like you practiced. All right.
Buzz asks, how do you remember all these songs? I think referring to that Beatles.
Oh, that's a good question. The key to remembering any song is knowing the lyric. The lyric is the hook that you put the notes to. So what you're really doing when you play is you're playing it like a singer would. Sometimes in instrumental music, sometimes it can be a little sterile and not open to interpretation. But in lyric music, You know, it's not always. It could be. So it's open to interpretation. So you would sing it, you know, da da ba ba bum bum ba, you know, kind of lighthearted or whatever. However you would sing it, you would play it. So. I like that little George Harrison lick in there. Anyway, so yeah, if you hook the lyric to it, then it's easier to remember. The other thing is when you learn a song, if you do harmonic analysis of the song, then you can transpose it. Once you start transposing it a couple times, then you start realizing, wow, that's how it works. That's how that song works, and you've analyzed it a lot. Does that make sense? Donnie, that's what I think helps to memorizing songs. Learn the lyrics, learn the harmonic progression, be able to analyze it. Not just it goes to a C chord, then a D minor, you know, and then an E minor and an F. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So in the key of F, it'd be F, G, A minor, B flat. Okay, so then 2, 5 of 6. So what is the 6 in the key of F? Well, it's D minor, so it goes E minor to A7 and to D minor, just like it went B minor, E7 to A minor. So when you can learn how to do harmonic analysis, which I always wanted to write a book on that. One of the things I want to do before it's all over with. Well, Gail just wrote a nice answer to you, Arnold, so hope that helped you. I like playing Rich's 10 morning workouts around the Cycloforce. That's good. That's good. And you're changing keys, and that's what makes it challenging, changing keys. And it's like people, you know, they don't like to hear that because it's hard work.
Yeah, hard work so early in the morning, man. You gotta change keys now. Like, I had 2 cups of coffee before I start changing keys.
Oh, yeah, okay. Mike, welcome, Mike. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. And then we have what? Protocol, Junks, what is that? Please write that harmonic analysis book. Take my money. You know what? I'm going to write that book, and I'm only going to make 1 copy, and we're going to sell it for $29.95. I was thinking about, do you remember if you lived in the Los Angeles area, Earl Scheib, paint any car, any color, $29.95. No ups, no extras. And by the way, this week we're offering $10 worth of free metal work. Can you imagine what $10 worth of free metal work would be?
Today is like that doesn't even cover like buffing a little part out.
No, he wouldn't even walk over and look at it for that.
You know what I always think when I hear Earl Scheib?
What?
Is the joke, your mom is so fat she had to get her toenails painted at Earl Scheib.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
From the Nutty Professor, the movie.
Oh really?
Yeah, remember that? Well, the one with Eddie Murphy.
Oh
The
sure.
first one, which was classic. Eddie Davis does ask, do you think in Roman number and play in different keys?
I do, Eddie. In other words, if we look at that particular song, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Right up the key, right up diatonic harmony.
Danielle.
Oh wait a minute, I wasn't done with Eddie.
Oh.
Eddie, how you doing, buddy? I'm so pleased that you're coming to camp. Now, when you think in terms of Roman numerals, okay, here, there, and everywhere it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it does it again, right? 1, 2, 3, and then it goes B minor to E7. Now, how do you interpret this? It's 2, 5 of 6. Now, if I call this 7 to 3 dominant, I don't see the relationship to the A minor. But if I call this 2, 5 of A, I can see the relationship. So that's a common mistake that people make. You want to look at the harmonic progression as it pertains to shifting of a tonality. In other words, if I go 3, if I call this 6 to 3 dominant, and then to A minor, which is, did I say 6? What? 7 to 3 dominant to 6. You know, it just doesn't make sense. But if I call this 2, 5 of 6, well, then it says that the tonal center is shifting. So, but when you think, I don't think as the 1, 2, 3. You know, I think of it as a 3. I don't think of it as a Roman numeral 3. Just 3. And this pretty sounding guitar. So I got another one of these. Okay. Yeah, some tunes are harder than others. Of course they are. Absolutely. And we'll do a harmonic analysis book. I would love to do that because I think that is so much fun. And you know what's really fun is when you get good at it, is picking up a Bach piece or some classical piece of something and start looking at the analysis of that. And you think, holy crap, these guys were knew what they were doing. When they said Bach was the father of music, they're not kidding. He really was. So anyway, let's do a lesson from the Fingerstyle arranging course so you can get a taste of what that is like. And so this is Chapter 1, Part 1. What this simply is we're taking the F chord and we're running a scale through it, okay? So when we do that, we come up with different chord voicings, right? So this, we're starting with an F major 6/9, and it's like too easy. You see that chord there if you want to. And we're just talking about group 1. I'm calling it group 1, which are these 4 strings, okay? And then now to F6/9 with a G on top, the second degree of the key. F major 7 with the third on the top. Now, what about the fourth on the top? Wow. Well, that is a different key or a different chord. No matter, you're not going to go like this because that is now a dominant chord, right? Because it's got a tritone in there. So we can't use that. It doesn't work. You have to change it to the 4 chord. Okay? So far now we have. And now we've got F6/9, and now F major 7/6/9, major 7, Did you know Twinkle Twinkle is the same as the ABC song? And there's another song it's the same as. Gail, what is that? All right. Now, anyway, so now we use those string groups. And so when I have a song that starts with the melody of an F chord on the note C, the fifth of the scale on the 1 chord, well, I would use this voicing. You see, in fingerstyle arranging, you first have to learn chord melody. And then you can take and start putting in the bass lines and all that stuff. Now let's look at group 2. Group 2 is quite simple. It's playing now the scale on that string. Okay? So now we're going to go like this. C6, C major 13, F major 7 over an A, and now we're going to use an F over a C, and then this guy, and then we're going to use a major 7 with a flat 5 just to spice it up instead of like that. I'm going to use that just because I get sick of the major chords all the time. Okay, so now I have. Anyway, so that's that. Now, one other thing we're going to do is we're going to add in our scale is because a major chord could be 1 or 4, right? It could be 1 in the key of in the key of F. F could be 1. In the key of C, it could be 4. So in the key of C, we kind of changed it a little, so it went like this. We added that. So okay. Anyway, so that's the start of it. And then we do another group in a different key, and then it goes on and on. And your goal is to expound on that in different keys. I can't write it out in 12 keys, otherwise it would be 72 pages times 12. And we're talking something that's really thick. You got to use your noggin.
Protocol Jux asks, or he says, I have your fingerstyle lesson. I'm still kind of confused on why you use such different shapes than what's found in the Mixolydian mode.
I don't get it. I don't know what you're saying. Different shapes than what's found in the Mixolydian mode. Isn't it all the same? Kind of confused on why you use such different shapes than what's found in the Mixolydian mode. I don't know. I don't quite get what do you mean by that. I use, for one thing, these shapes like, instead of F like this, and then F with a C on back top like this, is they're not very jazzy. Remember, this is jazz fingerstyle arranging. So I like this sound. Okay, and instead of an F like this, that's what the third on top, we use this. It's easier. You see? So that's one of the reasons I like just those particular stacked voicings, because they're not, it's more jazzy sounding than playing a F chord like this or an F chord like this with a C on top. It sounds very bland. You know? And, whoop, can't even play that anymore.
So he says, if that makes sense, I thought the Mixolydian was used to express the dominant chord, but you use the whole tone scale.
Yeah, the Mixolydian mode, quite frankly, is starting a major scale on the fifth degree, right, and going to its octave. So the modes are mainly used in that context, mainly for fingering on the guitar. You know what I'm saying? You know, a treatment over a C7 playing the Mixolydian mode, right? It's pretty bland. It's milk toast. Whoop. Nothing too exciting there. So I don't know which one I did the whole tone scale. Whole tone scale is which is a very outside sound. So I like the whole tone because you want tension to resolution, even though this is a dominant chord and it resolves to an F chord. Tension to resolution. This scale works. It's just an F scale. But this, the whole tone, will add much more tension, right? It makes the chord sound like this, you know, or flat 5. So then you get... So it adds more tension. Okay, you're just a music idiot, so bear with me. You know what? We were all idiots at one time or another. That's not a problem. Don't worry about it. Just try to learn as much as you can. You're asking questions, and that's the most important thing. Okay? It's the guy that's happy with what he does that doesn't ask questions. By the way, all my guitars are strung with the Rich Severson custom string jazz blend. Thick, deep tones, fat, high notes. 13, 15, 20, 28, 38, 48 hike. A guy sent me a set of Tomastic George Benson gauges, and he goes, I think it's 12, 16, 20, 28, 38, 52, something like that. So,
let's see. there was a question from, Sex Addict. What's everyone's favorite mode in here? I'm really partial to Locrian. Always like that diminished sound. So what's your favorite mode?
I don't know. I think my favorite mode, I like ice cream a la mode, apple pie a la mode. I like that. The Bolognian mode is one of my favorite modes. It's got kind of a salty bacon taste. The modes are, here's how I think of the modes. The modes are how you interpret a chord change. Okay, is the C chord a 1 chord or is it a 4 chord? Okay, if it's a 1 chord, I play the Ionian mode. You could say to yourself. I could also play the Dorian mode, the D Dorian, and the E Phrygian, and the F Lydian, right? And the G Mixolydian, because it's all a frickin' C scale, right? Okay, so it doesn't matter. Now, if I interpret that C chord as a G, in the key of G, it's the 4 chord, and so I start playing G scales against that, or in other words, G Ionian, A Dorian, B Phrygian, you see, C Lydian, you see, it's all the same. It's just the key of G. You interpret it as that. Then you get a Lydian sound. So I'd like to look at the modes kind of reverse. It's how you interpret where a chord is. Okay. So for instance, the 3 chord in the key of C. How do you interpret that chord? Do you interpret it as the key of C, an E minor, and then I play a C scale against it? Ooh, but that F doesn't sound that. Now, if I interpret that E minor as the 2 chord in the key of D, I get this sound. Right? Then I get the 9th, the 6th. So I'm interpreting it as D Dorian. Now, let's say I have a song in the key of C. Then goes to E minor. Now what if I play C? I play C major sounds. And when it goes to E, I'm going to play D major sound. Doesn't that sound better as opposed to C major sounds? And then to E as still C major sound? Right? It's how you interpret that 3 chord. Now, I could interpret it as 2 of Dorian. I could 3 of C chord, of C, right? 3 of C. I could also call it 6 of G. Now, if I use 6 of G, I've got a C natural and an F sharp. So, the only difference is 1 tone. Do I want the C sharp? Do I want the C natural? So, to be honest, the modes, I think half the time do more damage than good. Okay, so there are modal songs, I get that. But it's how you interpret the chord. Okay.
Yeah. There's another question here from Tom that just came in. Rich, what would you be thinking as you improvise over So What?
So what? What did he say?
What would you be thinking as you improvise over So What?
Whatever. Inside joke. Ah, geez. All right, so look at.
Yeah, that was swing and a miss there.
My grandson, you know,
You can't.
I say something to me like, hey,
Hey, how's it going over there?
what?
How's it going?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Ah,
I see you're on the same maturity level as your 17-year-old
yes.
grandson.
Yes. When? Ever. All right, so you've got it. Are we in the key of D minor? Let's say we're in D minor. So you got a D minor, and then it goes to E flat minor, right? So D minor. So how do you want to interpret that chord? The D minor, are you going to interpret it as 2? Okay. Let's say yes, 2. So now I'm in the key of C. So I'm like. Now when it goes to E flat, now I'm in the key of D flat. So that's going to bring out a certain sound quality. Now I could do D minor and say, okay, wait a minute, let's do D harmonic minor over that. Wait a minute, I sure like that C sharp sound. Ooh, but do I like the B flat sound? Not really. It sounds too much like Middle Eastern thing or something. But I like that C sharp. Well, why don't I use D melodic minor? So. Why don't I use them both? All right, so you could use D harmonic minor, D melodic minor, D Dorian, anything you want. It's America. So now you have to decide. One of the things that I think is so cool about the Dorian mode, if you say to yourself, all right, what are the chords in the Dorian mode? Well, they're exactly the same as C major, right? And D Dorian, exactly the same as C major. So why don't I do some of the arpeggios out of C major against the D minor? So that's an E minor. Here's an A minor. How about a G7? Okay, all of those have just really nice sounds. So, is it already 12:10? Good God, time is just flying by. So it would be the whatever you want, you know. So that's why I don't like to say just use the D Dorian mode. I say interpret it as the 2 chord of C, and then play everything that's in the key of C. Okay, that's what I like to do. And you could do the same thing with D melodic minor. Play all the chords in the D melodic minor, and you get all these really cool sounds. Okay. So I think the most important thing is when you start improvising is playing phrases. Play a phrase that's nice. Play a phrase that takes from those scales. It's the phrase that's king. The phrase, say it with me. It's the phrase that's say it, Wes. It's the phrase that's king.
Sounds like a radio thing. It's the phrase that pays. Coming up on the traffic on the nines.
I said the phrase that's, yeah, good. Okay. Hi from France. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Gail and I went to Paris once. She won a trip with her sales organization to Paris because she sold a bunch of stuff with her party plan. She had several people underneath her, hundreds, and won a trip to Paris. It was really fun. Okay. I left my wallet on the bus, and the bus driver sought me out. After we had all left and went to our room, the bus driver came back and found me. Isn't that nice? Yeah.
Wow.
I'd say.
That would have sucked.
Mm-hmm.
If you wouldn't get that back. Might have been staying in France for extended stay.
I might have.
Mike here says, "Hey, Rich, loving the 175. Thanks again. And did you just buy that one?"
Oh, yeah. Hi, Mike. Yeah. Yeah, he bought the 175, the mahogany one that we had. And he also bought one of these. He bought the blonde one of these.
Oh, nice.
Crazy guy.
That's cool.
Anyway, yeah, I think you got two excellent instruments. And that 175 was super special, man. Don't forget that. That is a super special guitar. So we just got a comment on one of our things comparing the L4 to the 175, and I said the L4 was solid, and the guy came back and said, oh no, the sides and back are laminate. Now another guy came and said, well, wait a minute, if it's mahogany, it's solid. So, and I think your 175 is solid mahogany sides and back. So I think you got a real special guitar. Thanks, Rich. Text next time I go, yo, Paris, I'm looking for your wallet. Okay. Wes, you got any guitar news?
Yeah, I do. Got some.
Y'all ready?
Gosh, ready as I'll ever be today. I don't know. We'll mash our way through this guitar news segment. Let's
go,
see.
Wes. Go.
Okay, here we go. First story here.
Here comes Wes.
Play your guitar.
Okay, you don't
muted.
have to sound me. I
That's all
won't
right.
do
I'll
it.
just mute you.
I was giving you some fanfare.
Yeah, I don't love that. That's not good. Not good. Anyway, okay. First story, Guitar Center. A big change for Guitar Center. Not about prices, not about brands, not about a takeover or a merger, anything like that. It is about the logo.
Oh no!
So everyone's seen the logo for Guitar Center that uses a guitar to represent the letter G, even though that guitar does not look like a G whatsoever. It looks like a guitar.
Right.
It's quite a stretch to call that a G, but it's been around since the 60s. In fact, it's been a big talking point, and people on Twitter trash the logo because of it. It just does not look like a G. So what they did was they made a new logo.
Oh.
You see that? So,
yeah.
They finally added the actual letter G to the logo. The Guitar Center's chief marketing and communications officer told Adweek that the company spent 6 months giving this old logo a facelift. Not sure why that took 6 months. I could have probably done that in about 6 minutes on Canva. But yeah, so they apparently did a bunch of testing, some surveys, and found out that customers clearly preferred the logo that just had a G to it. So it's going to end up costing Guitar Center quite a bit of money because they're going to have to change all the signs on their stores. Those big old huge signs. They got like 300 plus stores in the U.S. So it's going to be kind of a big deal. But it's pretty funny is a lot of people on Twitter, yeah, like I said, would bash it. Here, one of the funny comments here is, Iris says, I just feel like we're being really generous letting Guitar Center pass this thing off as a G. I mean, come on. And then another person, this guy Keaton, says, it's crazy to me Guitar Center uses the guitar as a G in its logo because it barely looks like a G. Anyways, here's what it'd look like if some other logos use the guitar as a G. So you see Olive Garden here, Gilmore Girls. You did the naval station at Guantanamo Bay. So yeah, as you can see, it doesn't really look anything like it. But so there's the two back to back. I agree. I think that adding the G looks better. Otherwise, it just kind of looks confusing. When you look at it there side by side, it makes the old one look like confusing. Like what are they doing? Anyway, Janine Diodario is as Guitar Center's chief marketing and communications officer. Not sure if there's any relationship there with the string company.
I'm sure there is.
But she said to Adweek, I joke that my legacy will be, I'm the girl who put the G in Guitar Center. So yeah.
Wow, that is really, really nice that they spent all that time. I like the old one better. You know, I don't like the G on there. I wish they'd go back. I don't like it.
Yeah.
You know, what are we, idiots? We're so stupid. You got to put the G in there because I don't know what it means.
Right.
Uttar Center.
Yeah, exactly.
Uttar.
What do you?
Yeah.
Right.
Give me
Like
a freaking break.
Guitar Center.
Retard Center is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I can't believe it took 6 months. It reminded me of, remember when President Obama had the website, spent the $500 million to put together the website for medical insurance, and I'm thinking, you know, for really a website that doesn't work, and
Yeah.
it's like, we got websites. They cost about $1,000 at the most. Jeez.
Hey, maybe we should change the logo, the Guitar College logo, to have the guitar on it. You know, and then you could bring it back.
I like that. Let's do it.
Right?
Let's do it. So, would it be infringing? It wouldn't be infringing.
No,
right?
I don't think so. I think you could.
Let's do that.
Yeah. So we'll have to spend 6 months redesigning that for sure. Yeah, but no, it is weird. I mean, nothing in a big corporation goes fast. It's like the government. You know what I mean? There's so many teams to work through and decision makers and.
Oh yeah,
It's and Guitar Center is obviously huge, so it'd take forever.
Yeah, but they're not that financially well off to blow money. I don't think.
Right.
They're always going into bankruptcy and all that, and reorganization and all that crap.
Yeah.
I guess they could incur those bills. Just make sure you get paid. Whoever's working on that.
All right, so we'll move on here to. Did you know that April is Jazz Appreciation Month?
No.
Well, it's easy not to know about it since jazz rarely gets any appreciation these days.
That's true.
So, but anyway, to help celebrate it, the YouTube channel for the Ed Sullivan Show is showcasing some of the best jazz performances that aired during the show's heyday.
Oh, nice.
If you go to the YouTube channel, go to these recent videos, recent posts, and you'll see a bunch of these great jazz performances from jazz artists. You got like Louis Armstrong, Count Basie, Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald.
Elvis Presley, jazz artist.
He is not on there.
Oh, well, it is on your list there.
This right here? Where is
Yeah,
Elvis?
up. Go up.
Well, that's not recent videos.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That's iconic performances.
Oh,
I'm talking about
iconic.
recent uploads. They're
Oh.
uploading these.
I'm sorry.
These new.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, some of these performances it's the first time they're actually putting these out in the digital kind of space.
Huh.
So they've kind of been, you can only, if you have some way to go back and watch them, you can go back and watch them. But now they're uploaded onto YouTube. You can check them out. Like I said, Louis Armstrong's one. I have a couple queued up here. Peggy Lee.
Oh, she's great.
Fly Me to the Moon. Let's see if this plays. This might blast everybody.
That doesn't look like Ed Sullivan's set.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Is that fake?
No, they went on location. The water's moving. I don't think they could do that then.
They didn't have green screen capabilities back then?
They didn't have green screen back then.
Well, anyway, that performance aired October 16th, 1960. Here's another one. This one's pretty cool, too. Count Basie playing How High the Moon.
Oh, look at Freddie Green. I hope they show him.
Look at that band. Got a few guys in that band there.
Oh, they're great.
A few guys there. Anyway, so, this one aired November 22nd, 1959. So yeah, if you're into these old jazz performances, there's a ton of them for you to go and enjoy. So there you have it. Go ahead and check them out.
Oh, good.
While they're up, because I'm sure they're not going to pull them down, but you can appreciate jazz this month only, not any other month.
Do you have some more?
Yeah.
Well, I want to comment on Count Basie. A friend of mine, Pete Scafidi, his mother is Mary Osborne. Mary Osborne played in that band briefly here and there. Anyway, Pete said when I was a little boy, and he was looking at the video, they were showing the video similar to that, and he was saying, man, I forget which guy it was. He said, I used to sit on that guy's lap.
Oh, funny.
Isn't that funny? He's getting all teary-eyed. Yeah, isn't that trip?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
That old footage is cool looking too. I mean,
It is.
it definitely brings you back. Brings me back since, when I was watching that as a kid.
Yeah, Count Basie said, the way, I do something really creative to keep my band together. I pay them.
Oh, that helps.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, let's see. Got some news here from Eastman Guitars. Eastman Guitars making the news
Really?
segment. Yeah. They obviously make great handmade jazz guitars in Beijing, China. Their archtops are a big competitor to Gibson. Some cases they sound just as good. But now it appears they're going even further to compete with Gibson. Guitar Player magazine recently.
Use your camera. You want it?
Yeah, sorry. Eastman, two guys from Eastman just sat down with Guitar Player magazine, product development manager Pepchin to Hart. I'm sure I butchered that name. He's from the Netherlands. Guitar Player asked him all kinds of questions, but the most interesting one was at the very end of the interview. They asked, is there anything else in the pipeline for original electric guitar designs from Eastman? And to Hart responded, yes, our first original solid body electric design is coming in time for Summer NAMM. So that means July. We should see what this thing actually looks like. So you got to think that they're probably going to be going for kind of a Les Paul. There's this Romeo guitar here that they came out with in 2020, which kind of is that 335 kind of design, kind of a bluesy thing. It was created by American guitar designer Otto D'Ambrosio.
I think he designed another one of theirs too.
Well, this one right here, the Romeo, when it came out in 2020, it's been their best seller.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those and ordered them for guys. It's very chimey. It's a nice like in a band rock and roll guitar.
Right. Well, anyway,
cool guitar.
They gave us a little clue about the name of the new solid body guitar, and they say, quote, as the partner to Romeo, maybe you can guess the name. Can you guess the name? What is it?
Shakespeare.
You got it. That's it.
The Shakespeare, yeah.
They didn't say. So maybe
the Billy Shakes. No, the Juliet. I assume.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be the Juliet. And anyway, there's no pictures or anything yet, but you have to assume that it's going to be like in direct competition with the Les Paul, right? I mean, it's safe to assume that.
Yeah.
But the interview is great. They also let us in on a few secrets. That's Otto D'Ambrosio there. He talks about how they're built, how all Eastmans are built back in Beijing, and he says, quote, back in the early 2000s, I had just finished working with Guild guitars, and the reason I worked with Guild was that they still did a lot of hand work. There were no CNCs in that factory in Westerly, Rhode Island, and everyone had a dedicated position there. Now, if you don't know what a CNC is, do you know what it is?
I do.
Yeah, so a computer-controlled router, basically. So D'Ambrosio says Eastman doesn't use any computer-controlled things. He says, quote, and that was one of the things I saw when going over to these Eastman workshops. It was like an old-school American guitar factory. There are people working on these instruments, and they're passionate about them, and they create beautiful objects with their hands. So that's a good interview. I recommend definitely going to check that out. It's on Guitar Player. It's long. They go on and on and on, but they talk a lot about the designs and what goes on over there in China at their workshop, and it's pretty interesting, especially if you're into Eastman guitars.
Yeah, and Eastman started off making orchestral music instruments,
right?
Violins, cellos, and all that stuff.
And they're still going strong with that, with those.
Apparently, what was explained to me by some of those guys is that Eastman is a little city in its own, the village on the outskirts of Beijing, and the whole city or the village. That's all they do is build instruments. So that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. I was scoping out a little documentary thing that I found on YouTube. I didn't put it out here because it was a little tough to write, but it was interesting about there's this one full city in China that makes it's the capital, world's capital of guitar making. Yeah. Basically everyone in the whole city works as a guitar for a guitar factory.
Yeah.
And
make pennies.
There's like 700 brands. Well, apparently the town was on the fritz and everyone was moving away because there were no jobs there, and some guy had the idea of, hey, let's just make this a city, an easy city for guitar companies to move into, and they did, and it totally revived the city. Now it's a big thriving city, and all these guitar monuments and stuff. It's pretty interesting. But I just caught it last minute, so maybe I could feature it another day. And then finally, wouldn't be guitar news without a story about Gibson, right?
Right,
So,
gotta have Gibson in there.
This week, there's been a raging debate over the company's viability and relevancy in the music scene. So it comes from the guitar forum page, the gearpage.net. So this one-year user wrote this comment, and it triggered a firestorm of people commenting. He said, after watching several bands this past weekend at Coachella, one thing was obvious. None of the kids these days are playing Gibsons. I saw a couple of Les Pauls, but they were only used for a few songs. The vast majority of bands were all Fender. A fair amount of Tellys, Strats, and Mustangs, and jazz masters dominated. There was more variety in amps, but Fender dominated again. Distortion in general seems to be on the outs. Most of these bands were playing clean to overdriven. Now, if you don't know what Coachella is, it's the kind of goes on to bolster that point. Young people can't afford Gibsons. As they learn to play, they start with Fender and stay with it. All the doctors and lawyers that have 25 Les Pauls in their collection are keeping Gibson afloat. There's no argument there. I do think this is a pretty relevant comment, though. Here, he says, this other guy, plenty of Gibsons are used in the country realm, which represents a bigger slice of the pie than what is represented in Coachella. Used to be Tellys and Gretches at country shows. Things have changed a bit, I suppose. And he's right. You do see tons of Gibsons now in the country. A lot of Les Pauls, a lot of 335s.
Yeah.
And so
no L5s though.
No.
I mean, Elvis played a Super 400.
And then so finally the guy who wrote the original post commented back after. I mean, this thing got hundreds of comments. He commented back on the guy who said that single coils are better suited for the styles at Coachella. And he said Telecaster Deluxes with humbuckers weren't uncommon at Coachella. Gibson appears to be losing in that space too. So they do make a number of new Fender models that have humbuckers. And then he says, just to be clear, I'm not saying Gibson is in trouble today, but older people think Gibsons are cool today, mostly because it's what the pop stars of 30 to 50 years ago were playing. It's not a good sign for Gibson's future.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a debate there for sure on. I think they definitely are not. I mean, I never liked a Les Paul. I never liked I liked maybe a Gibson SG, but I was always definitely wanting to play Fenders. But that was what all the bands that I knew were playing.
Yeah. Well, one guy in your band had an SG.
Right.
I had an SG in high school. Actually, it was a 62 Les Paul that looked like an SG, and it said Les Paul on it. And it had a rubber neck. You could just, it had a whammy bar that went sideways. It was really cool. You remember that guitar? Jim and Rob Briggs. Will you turn my amp back on? I hate being censored. Anyway, Wes, thank you. That was really nice. Thank you.
There's some comments here. Danielle Emberly says, plenty of live jazz nightly on YouTube. Smalls Live. They restart the stream partway through. Starts around 7:30, 8 p.m. Eastern, and ends around 3 a.m. Wow, that's a long.
I think that's a club, isn't it, in New York, something like that. And they do around-the-clock jazz.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
yeah, it's crazy. It's all,
That's pretty cool. Let's see.
Did you see what Rob wrote about that, about the Peggy Lee thing? He said that's Malibu.
Oh, yeah. West Beach in Malibu.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's see. The Eastman SB is a nice Les Paul type guitar. Has been around for a while, so maybe they will do a Telly style. That would be interesting, for sure. Let's see. Jim says Summer NAMM's being held June 3rd through 5th. Oh, I'm sorry. I read that wrong. Oh, Nashville is what I saw. Yeah, I saw the Nashville one, but I just did a quick search.
Yeah, we're going to go to the Summer NAMM.
Awesome. I think that's about it.
Okay.
Do have a Italian guy has a nice comment. Rich, I've learned a lot from you. I need a cool solo for Autumn Leaves.
Well, I've got a bunch of them on the Guitar College library. It's about 5 or 6 choruses of it. So go up there and get it.
let's see. Mike says, when discussing Fender, don't forget G&L, Leo's other company. That's true. Those are really sweet guitars as well. Which you have one. You have a G&L
I do.
Telly.
I do.
Hollow body Telly
Hollow
thing.
body, yeah. It's nice.
Kirby says, Rich, did you ever represent any guitar company at the NAMM shows?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, Hofner, right?
Hofner, and I played in a Heritage booth, and I played in the Eastman booth. Hofner, when they were owned by a big company, what was it called? The music group that owned them, they had money to burn, man. It was so good. And they had this the Cavern nightclub at the NAMM show. And guys,
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
wasn't that cool?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, what, I mean, they had some cool guitars. What happened to them?
They're just mainly made in Europe, sold in Europe.
Do you ever see any, what was it, the Jazzica or whatever?
Yeah.
Or the President?
Mm-hmm. And the vice president. And
You ever see those on Reverb?
yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Donald Spain says he subscribed 2 weeks ago and he's just amazed at the content here. Thanks, Donald. We appreciate that.
Oh, great.
Do it for you.
Thank you.
Eloy says, will you do a video of Summer NAMM? I don't know. We'll see if I end up going.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, that is for sure.
And it's the same stuff. I mean, you could look at the one we did 20 years ago, and it's got the same crap in it. You know, it's the same old thing, you know. Did I say that crap? It's the same old thing.
Let's see. Italian guy asks, Rich, years ago I bought a D'Angelico at Ed Roman's Guitar World in Las Vegas. Didn't he also build Eastman there, or did he just sell them there? He just sold them there. Right?
Yeah, he just sold them.
Yeah.
Eastman,
Speaking of that, go ahead.
Eastman's are made in China, but their warehouse is in Pomona, California, which is a terrible place.
That's where that Otto D'Ambrosio lives, is in Pomona, I believe.
Okay, yeah. The workshop, the setup shop and stuff in Pomona. Pomona is very dry. It's freaking desert out there. And so you got these guitars coming off the boat in China, and then they come right to this dry area, and it's like, boy, this sure doesn't have much output. Can you turn that up a hair? Oh, maybe it's. I'll just turn it up here.
Now we're gonna blast everybody out.
Yeah. Let's see.
I did. You know what I did? I was in Templeton before I came here, and there's a little music shop there, and the guy has a big old Eastman sign in the window.
Yeah, he carries Eastman.
Yeah. You got a bunch of acoustics, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, Eastman has just made a giant dent in a lot of things, but they had affordable jazz boxes, and you know that's where they cut their teeth, is in the archtop stuff, you know. And then they started getting into the solid body stuff. First they went into the 335s, and quite frankly, there's no money in jazz guitars. They're hard to build. They take time. You just don't build one in a day. You in acoustic guitars, you know, you got to let the glue dry, you know. If it's a bandsaw guitar, like a Telly or something, you know, you just cut it out, sanded it, and there you go. You're done, you know. Finish it and done deal.
Pete Fanticoni from Philly, enjoying
Pete.
my 535. It's sweet. Did you sell that?
Oh. Yeah, I think so.
Pete from Philly.
Yeah, hi, Pete. That's cool. I recognize that name. That's cool.
Eliev asked, do you ship guitars to Israel? Because there is nothing there.
You know, Okay, so I've shipped some things overseas, and every time I've done it, I stress out over it. It's very expensive, and you don't know where the hell it's going to go. But I've never, so far, it's worked. Now, a guy just called me or emailed me. He wants to buy my 347, and he lives in like Czechoslovakia or something. Bosnia. And I'm like, oh man, do I really want to do that? You know. And another guy wanted to buy my Howard Roberts, and he lived in I forget, Switzerland or somewhere. And it's just.
What's the price on that to ship it over there?
Well, it came up as $500, which I thought was cheap. Last time I sold a guitar overseas, it was a Gibson or a Guild X500, and I thought the bill was $900 to ship it to Italy. It was a lot of money, you know.
But I mean, if you can't find them anywhere else,
yeah,
what are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah.
So not out of the question. Sounds like not out of the question there, Eliav.
Yes, not out of the question.
So just
and I talk to dealers all the time who, yeah, man, I ship overseas. Yeah, I do it all the time, man. Thank goodness. So it's like, okay, well, whatever. But I'm a little nervous about it.
Let's see. Eloy says Eastman Pomona is a cool site. What do they have? A factory or warehouse?
Warehouse there, and then they do their setup shop.
Oh, gotcha. That would be cool to check out.
Darn it, you know,
And then Joe Guitar says the Hofner president was my first big box.
Yeah, that was a nice guitar, the president. Then they had the chancellor and it had all the parliament names, you know.
I always liked how they had the F-hole covers that you could
stuffers.
That was interesting. But they look cool. It looks cool with those on because they stick out. It makes it look kind of 3D. I always thought that was kind of cool looking.
That is cool. Well, I think we're getting close to the end.
Wait, you got something on Shadow of Your Smile that you're gonna do?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah. Shadow of Your Smile. This is an example of demonstrating counter lines. Counter lines quite simply means you're filling in between there, and in between the melody, and we kind of show that in the fingerstyle and arranging course. So I'll just kind of do that with the Shadow of Your Smile. This isn't in the course, but it'll give you an idea of how it's done. something like that. So you play the melody, and then you answer yourself. A teardrop kissed your lips. Anyway, yeah, so that's an example of jazz counterlines. So you could do like we use Autumn Leaves. I don't know exactly what we did, but. Let's see. Now I'm playing the shadow of your smile. Whoops. Excuse me. Pardon me. Got songs mixed up.
It's a medley.
It's a medley, yeah. Well, I was going to do Up Jump Spring, but I forgot the music inside. So we'll do that next week. Oh, let's do, this lesson on Day in the Life of the Fool. We put that on special. And this is a solo. And what I wanted to show you on this solo is we've got the one chord, 2-5 of G minor, then it goes 2-5 of G minor, then 2-5 of B flat. And we play the similar licks. What's cool about this is the diminished chord that works with an F7 also works for a D7. So here is the lick. Let's get this tonality in our head. Here's A minor 7. Hear all that tonality? Those lines are pointing to G minor. Now we're going to do it. Now we're going to go C minor to B flat. Hear this lick here? Then instead of it being G minor, it's now B flat. So the same kind of lick worked with both phrases. So the first 8 bars of this particular solo sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you hear that? So what I can play for an F7 can also work for a D7. So it's kind of cool. Listen, here's a D7 lick. Hear it? That's a D7 lick. Now, get this in your head. That was F7 going to B flat. So it's kind of neat, isn't it? So you learn a few licks over a dominant chord, you can transpose them, and they function in different things. Just like the way I like to think about Dorian modes, because, or all the modes, is you think of it, how is it interpreted not so much I apply this mode to that chord. It's how do I interpret that chord. So anyway, once again, here's a D7. Going to G minor. Here's F7. Going to B flat. Get that in your head. You hear it? Okay, well, I want to thank you guys for joining me. It's real nice of you. I really appreciate it. And be on the lookout for some of these videos we're going to be putting up pretty soon. And tell your friends, and be sure to hit the thumbs up button. I guess we get an extra lollipop or something from YouTube for that. And anyway, I will see you later. Y'all come back now. You hear?